Well, here we go again. Texas Senator Ted Cruz on his way to Mexico. He's now teasing a Biden impeachment if Republicans take back the House in 2022. He's a senator, though, which actually seems likely. They probably will. Here's what he said about it on his latest podcast.
I think there are potentially multiple grounds to consider for impeachment. Probably the most compelling is the utter lawlessness of President Biden's refusal to enforce the border, his decision to just defy federal immigration laws and allow 2 million people to come here unimpeded in direct contravention of his obligation under Article 2 of the Constitution to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. That's probably the strongest grounds right now for impeachment, but there may be others.
Oh, so would impeaching the president be what's best for our country, or just another act of partisan revenge? Here with me now, host of Beltway Banthas podcast, author of How the Force Can Fix the World. I love this book. Read it immediately, especially if you are a Star Wars fan. It makes all the sense there ever was in the written word. Stephen Kent, welcome back, sir.
Kennedy, nice to see you.
So let's talk about this, because to me, impeachment, again, sounds exhausting. I didn't like it the first 2 times around with President Trump. I don't like the idea of it with Joe Biden. There's a lot of stuff that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do that I don't agree with. I don't think they're acting in the best interest of the country, but I don't think everything rises to an impeachable offense.
Right. I think that's absolutely true. There are 2 things here that I think we should be thinking about. One, this is sort of this merry-go-round that we're never going to be able to get off of if we start, playing this game of every president gets impeached. And particularly for what Ted Cruz said for issues of immigration enforcement, which has been an issue for decades
with every
and multiple U.S. presidents. Right. It just sort of never ends. But another thing is also true, and I think you'd appreciate this, which is that the House of Representatives is actually not gung-ho enough with the use of impeachment as an institution, and it's very much allowed the executive branch for the past 100 years to run completely amok. The trick is handing the Senate an impeachment that they can actually convict, and that's a whole different story, which is why Russiagate obviously fell completely flat.
Yes, and that also is another thing that kneecaps the idea of impeachment as a tool for checking the imbalance of power. The executive branch does have too much power, and a lot of that power was taken, and a lot of it was given by Congress. And they need to come up with better ways, and, you've mentioned censure as a better way of putting people in check, because I don't think we do that enough either. And I think that that is applied with imbalance. Will we ever get back to balance? Will we ever reconnect with the force in Washington, D.C.?
Well, the answer is probably no. Washington, D.C. is not a place of balance. It's a place of domination and power. But we have a very big country with a lot of states, a lot of localities, a lot of counties where anything is possible, y'all. I mean, you can build the kind of world, the kind of community that you want to live in your town, in your zip code. But the problem, and it's a progressive sickness really, is this belief that we can make everybody live the same way from coast to coast in this country. It's Death Star level politics where we're trying to force all these hundreds of thousands, millions of people under one banner. And it's just not the way that the American experiment is supposed to be run.
Who has the most midichlorians of anyone in the Senate?
I dare not answer that question, but there are a lot of Star Wars fans running amok in the Senate. Ted Cruz is one of them. He can go just about as deep on Star Wars lore as anyone, as well as Cory Booker.
Interesting. Cory Booker is a fascinating person. Vegan, not a great tight end when he was at Stanford, but we won't hold everything against him. That makes me like him more. I think that's fascinating. I was going to say Mike Lee. I like Mike Lee. We invite him to come on the show 3 times a day, and he keeps going, yeah, I'm kind of busy. So I don't know why, because we celebrate liberty and freedom in all of their forms here on this program. So, I'll keep whacking at the pinata. Love your book. Thank you, Stephen.
Kennedy, thanks for reading it.
Always. You're the best.